Safety is a top priority at our school. Our actions are called Standard Response Protocol, or SRP. This presentation is going to build out the actions in the protocol in greater detail and with greater clarity. It is important to know that there is a simple, common language among students, staff, and community helpers. When this language is used, everyone involved has the same expectations. We will share this information with community helpers, staff, students, and families, so if something happens at our school, they will know what to do. Students, we care about you and know that all of you care about keeping our school safe. If you have concerns, tell an adult, for example, your teacher. It's always safe to say. The Standard Response Protocol was created by an organization called I Love You Guys and is used all across the country. The Standard Response Protocol includes 5 actions to stay safe during an emergency: secure, lock down, evacuate, shelter, and hold. We are going to take some time reviewing the steps to each action, beginning with secure. Secure. Get inside, lock outside doors. For this action, you will hear secure, get inside, lock outside doors. Secure, get inside, lock outside doors. Why secure? Secure is started when there is something unsafe outside of the building. Students, let's talk about what you should do during a secure. The first one is simple. Get in the building, follow directions from staff. For students, teaching and learning will continue. That concludes the secure action. Now let's talk about lockdown. Lockdown, locks, lights, out of sight. It is very important to follow your teacher's directions during a lockdown. For this action, you will hear lockdown, locks, lights, out of sight. Lockdown, locks, lights, out of sight. Why lockdown? Lockdown is used when there is something unsafe inside the school. What does it look like?
Students and staff, we will be in a lockdown, locks, lights, out of sight. Lockdown, locks, lights, out of sight.
If you are in a classroom when the lockdown is called, the main thing to remember is locks, lights, out of sight. As students gather in a safe area of the room, lock the door and turn off all the lights. Have everyone in the room move to a location that is out of sight. Pick an area of the room that can't be seen from interior windows. An actual lockdown may not be resolved for several hours. Here's how you should wait. Stay in the safe location. Do not move around the room. Remain silent. Staff take written attendance of who is in the room. Know anyone missing and if you have any extra students. Students, if you are in the halls when a lockdown is called, try to enter the nearest safe room. Remember, this might not be your normal classroom, but that is okay. The main thing is to get inside a locked room. If you are not able to quickly get into a classroom, the next best place might be a bathroom. When you get in the bathroom, go into a stall and lock the door. Get out of sight by hiding behind the wall of the stall or standing on a toilet. Remember to try to stay silent when in the bathroom. Wait for a trusted adult to come find you before leaving the bathroom.
Lockdown, lock, lights, out of sight.
Some of our schools have classrooms that don't have doors. If there are doors to the pods that can lock shut, those should be closed to secure the area. We will shut off the lights and staff will lock doors to their pod. It is best to still shut off the lights and get out of sight. Remember, we should try to remain silent while out of sight. In some cases, teachers may decide it is safest for their students to evacuate. Always stay in a lockdown until a trusted adult, likely a police officer, comes to let you out. Okay, let's look at what students should do. First, listen to directions from your teachers. They will have you move to a safe spot in the room. If you can, sit on the floor. Students, be silent. What if you're in the hallway, outside, in the lunchroom, or bathroom? If you are not in the classroom during a lockdown, look to the closest school adult for directions. What if you're in the bathroom? Stay and find a quiet spot out of sight. That concludes the lockdown action. Okay, now let's talk about evacuate. Evacuate is how to move from one place in the building to a place outside of the building. For this action, you will hear the fire alarm or the announcement, evacuate. Please go to the announced location. Evacuate. Please go to the announced location. Students, let's talk about what you should do during an evacuation. Leave your stuff behind. Be sure to listen to your teachers for directions. That concludes the evacuation action. Now let's talk about shelter. Shelter. Go to the shelter location and wait for further instructions. This is usually in response to severe weather, such as a tornado. For this action, you will hear the announcement, shelter. Please go to your shelter area. That concludes the shelter action. Now let's talk about hold. Hold is when you need to stay in your classroom. For this action, you will hear, hold in your classroom, clear the halls. If you're in the hallway, go to your classroom. Teaching and learning will continue. That concludes the hold action. Students, we care about you and know that all of you care about keeping our school safe. If you have concerns, tell an adult, for example, your teacher. It's always safe to say. Thank you for your attention. You now know the 5 actions to stay safe during an emergency.